I used to believe love meant security. That's what my marriage gave me: order, routine, predictability. My husband was a kind man. Smart, stable, loyal. He kissed my forehead before work, paid the bills on time, and remembered our anniversary with a polite dinner. But somewhere in those 5 years, something broke. Or maybe it was never built right to begin with. We shared a bed, but not warmth. Conversations became logistics. We'd talk about groceries, car maintenance, taxes. I don't remember the last time he really looked at me. Not glanced, looked. I could be in a room, in lingerie or in tears, and his attention would stay on his laptop or the TV. I tried. I truly did. I cooked his favorite meals, planned spontaneous dates, even suggested therapy. He nodded, promised he'd make time, but the days kept passing, hollow and heavy. I wasn't unloved. I was unnoticed. At first, I thought I was just being dramatic. Everyone says marriage isn't like the movies. Passion fades, responsibilities grow. But then I started to dread going home. I stayed longer at work. I volunteered for errands. Not because I was busy, but because I felt more seen by strangers than I did by the man I married. I'd lie awake at night beside him, wondering if I was selfish for wanting more. More touch. More words. More life. I used to daydream, ashamed, about anyone grabbing my face and telling me I mattered. Just once. I hated those thoughts. They felt like betrayal. But they came anyway. Quiet, creeping thoughts I never said out loud. He wasn't cruel. That was the hardest part. He didn't cheat. He didn't scream. He just drifted, so slowly, I didn't notice until I was emotionally starving. And when I finally brought it up, asked him if he still wanted me, he furrowed his brow like I was speaking a foreign language. "Of course I do," he said, confused. Then he turned back to his screen. I remember my friend's words one night when I opened up over wine. "You're not crazy," she said. "Sometimes it's not the affair that breaks a marriage. It's what leads you there." Those words haunted me. I wasn't looking for an escape. I wasn't chasing a thrill. I just wanted to feel like a woman again. To be seen, touched, craved. To be reminded that my skin could still be wanted, that my voice could still matter. But I stayed. Because that's what good wives do. Right? I thought love meant endurance. Pushing through the numbness. Waiting for the spark to return. But I was wrong. Love shouldn't feel like a room you're screaming in while no one hears you. And no matter how tightly I held on, he never reached back. His name was Eli. We weren't close at first, just polite exchanges at the office, the kind that barely register. But he had this quiet confidence that made you notice him, without meaning to. He looked at people when they spoke. Really looked, not through them. One afternoon, he held the elevator door for me. That's how it started. A smile, a joke about Mondays, a moment that should have meant nothing. But it lingered. The next week, we ran into each other again. Then again. Small talk turned longer. He remembered the tiniest things I said, a book I liked, the coffee I always ordered. That attention was dangerous. Not because it was sexual. Not yet. It was because it was rare. I wasn't used to being remembered. Noticed. Heard. One evening I laughed at something he said, really laughed, and I caught him watching me with this look. Not lustful. Just present. Curious. Like I mattered. Like I wasn't just filling space. I looked away, heart racing, ashamed at how good it felt. The texts started soon after. Work-related at first. Then jokes. Then inside jokes. Then things I didn't tell anyone else. He became my secret escape, a hidden thread of color in days that felt gray. I told myself it was harmless, that I needed the attention, that I wouldn't cross a line. I wasn't that kind of woman. But I started checking my phone too often, wearing lipstick to work again. My husband noticed none of it. Eli noticed everything. The way my tone changed when I was tired. The difference in my eyes when something was bothering me. He asked questions no one else did. "Are you happy? When was the last time you felt wanted?" I should have blocked him. Should have stopped replying. But I didn't. Because he made me feel alive. And I had missed that feeling so much. I forgot what it cost. It got more intimate emotionally first. He'd say things like, "He doesn't see you, does he?" And I wouldn't answer, because silence was easier than admitting the truth. He told me I deserved more. I started to believe him. One night, he texted me late. "I can't stop thinking about you." I stared at that message for a long time. I deleted it. Then I typed back. Then I erased it. Then I put my phone face down and sat there, pulse in my throat, knowing nothing would be the same. I wasn't innocent anymore. I knew it, but I didn't stop. I let the attention bloom into craving. I let the craving become habit. He hadn't touched me yet, but I felt owned already. And part of me wanted to be. That scared me more than anything else. The first time it happened, it wasn't planned. There were no promises, no build-up, just raw gravity pulling us into something neither of us tried to stop. His hands were decisive, his mouth firm, his body pressed into mine like he'd been waiting years. I didn't resist. I didn't think. I just let go. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like I belonged to someone who actually wanted me. After that, it became impossible to go back. We started meeting in secret. Messages turned into locked calendars. He never begged, never pressured. He just showed up, confident and certain, like he knew exactly what I needed. And I gave it to him. Over and over. I gave him my time, my skin, my thoughts. He took it all like it was already his. He wasn't gentle. He didn't worship me. He devoured. And I wanted that. I wanted to be undone. To be ruined a little. He called me things my husband never would. Spoke in tones that pulled my breath straight from my chest. Every time I said I shouldn't come back, I came back harder. I lied without flinching. Made excuses like they were second nature. I became someone I didn't recognize and didn't care to fix. The guilt was there, quiet but constant, like background noise I eventually tuned out. Every time I touched my husband, I felt cold, mechanical. My body was going through motions while my mind replayed everything Eli had done to it the night before. I knew it wasn't love. Not the kind you build a life on. It was obsession. Lust layered with emotional starvation. But I clung to it like salvation. Eli made me feel claimed, like my pleasure mattered, like my presence was intoxicating. He'd say things like, "You're not going back to that emptiness, are you?" And I'd nod, but I didn't mean it. I stopped wondering if it was worth it. I just started needing it. He awakened something that had been buried so long I forgot it even existed. A hunger that had nothing to do with love and everything to do with being seen, heard, wanted with ferocity. He wasn't soft. He was fire. And I burned willingly. He owned me in ways I never allowed anyone before. Emotionally, sexually, mentally. When he said, "You're mine," I didn't argue. I surrendered. Completely. Not because he demanded it, but because I needed to feel possessed. I craved that sense of being chosen without hesitation. Every time I left him, I promised myself it was the last. But I always went back. Not because I had no choice, but because I wanted to be his again. Because in those moments, I wasn't a wife, or a liar, or a lost woman. I was something powerful, reckless, alive. And I begged him never to stop. It ended the way all things like this do, with truth bleeding out in places you can't control. He found a message. Not even a scandalous one. Just enough. My husband's face was blank as he read it. Not angry. Not shocked. Just gone. He handed me the phone, looked at me like he didn't know who I was, and walked out of the room. That silence hit harder than any scream ever could. I didn't chase him. I couldn't. What would I have said? That I missed being touched? That I got addicted to a man who made me feel like I mattered? That I traded honesty for attention? He didn't ask for explanations. He just left for a few days, and when he came back, the man I married was no longer standing in front of me. He was someone colder, distant in a way I had never seen before. I told Eli what happened. His response was indifferent. He said he hoped I'd be okay, that he didn't mean to cause damage. Then he disappeared. No goodbye. No fight. Just vanished. That stung more than I expected. Maybe because I knew it was always temporary. Maybe because I let myself believe it could have meant more. But it didn't. I was just the thrill, He didn't want to claim when things got complicated. There was no romantic ending. No passion that turned into love. Just me, alone with the mess I made. My marriage wasn't over immediately. We tried therapy.
Tried talking.
But something essential had died between us. I saw it in his eyes. Trust, once broken like that, doesn't regenerate. It haunts. We became strangers trying to remember how to be in the same room. Nights became long. I started waking up with panic in my chest, realizing I had no one. I had thrown myself into something I thought would save me, and instead it cracked everything I had left. My husband never screamed. He just slowly withdrew until I couldn't feel him anymore. And one day, I came home, and his ring was on the counter. No note. Just finality. I didn't try to win him back. I didn't deserve to. And deep down, I think I knew I never loved him the way I should have. I loved the idea of being loved. But I never really gave myself fully. Not to him. Not to anyone. I wanted to be rescued from a life I helped create, and when someone showed me desire, I clung to it like it could rewrite the truth. Sometimes I wonder if Eli thinks of me. If he remembers the way I clung to him, like he was the answer to a question I never asked out loud. But mostly, I just sit with the quiet, the absence, the cost. I burned down my life for moments that couldn't last. And now, all I have are the echoes of hands that once held me like I was the only thing that mattered. And I let them go. All of them,